Tank knock him out cold.
Who?
Knockout.
Zepeda?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tank knock him out cold. I'm talking about one. Family got knocked out. Tank gotta fight him. Tank gotta fight.
Of course, I don't want to be biased, but I'm rocking with Tank, and he ain't gotta look for Zepeda. I see Zepeda running into a lot of if he was to fight Tank,
Former professional boxer Adrien Broner and coach Kenny Ellis predict that in a potential match, Tank Davis will knock out William Zepeda. They explain why Zepeda's pressure style would be a liability against Tank's counterpunching power.
Well, Tank can fight anybody he wants because he got star power.
They can give a roast to give Zepeda, give a tune up, get some rust off fight.
But knowing him though, he gonna want to go get that win though.
When asked about a potential Tank-Zepeda fight, Ellis confidently backed Tank, citing his superior strength and ability to handle pressure, arguing that Tank would not struggle with Zepeda's attack.
Should be a problem because it seemed like the pressure was a problem with Lamont.
It wouldn't be a problem with Tank. Tank ain't gotta look for him. Tank way stronger. Lamont hit Zepeda with some stuff, man, that I don't think he could take it if it was
back in the same way Roach did. On what's next for the division, floating a potential unification clash between Zepeda and Abdullah Mason as a fight they're eager to see. Mason is the unbeaten WBO lightweight title holder. He won the belt this past November. A matchup with Zepeda, fresh off capturing the WBC belt, would pit two.
See Zepeda and Abdullah Mason. That is a war.
It's a
unification fight. They're
that
both with top ranks.
And they're going to fight too.
To make.
That's a great fight. Watch this. Who do you like, Mason or Zepeda right now?
I like Mason. And it's not because he's a brother.
I
just showed you.
I'm surprised.
I'm gonna get my money before any color.
Yes.
All right.
Well, the
other color's green.
But you also
green.
What you also showed us is you'll say one thing and bet another.
Whoa! I showed
you can flop though.
Time out.
You can.
Time out. But you can't. Don't take a bow here, picking Abdullah Mason, and then you bet Zepeda at the 11th hour.
Two of the division's current title holders against each other for unified status. Shifting gears, analysts Max Kellerman and Tim Bradley seemed genuinely surprised by how much William Zepeda's boxing skills had sharpened, with Bradley feeling he essentially beat Roach at his own game rather than relying.
Texting during the fight. I mentioned it to him in the second or third round. Yeah. Zepeda, his positioning, his cutting off the ring, his use of his shoulders and his boxing technique. He outboxed. As you and Bug were talking about, he outboxed the boxer. And people get confused because when a guy's coming forward, they think he's not boxing. No. But you can box coming forward, and he did it.
He kept control of the space in front, you know what I mean? He was dropping feints, then he was attacking at the right times. Like, he just wasn't just coming straight in, and just getting hit or clipped it. He was, respected what Roach was.
Breaking down Zepeda's victory over Roach, Teddy Atlas highlighted the relentless pressure and work rate that wore his opponent down.
He's got an engine. We're going to use the analogy of a car. Zepeda's a car, and he's a 12-cylinder. I mean, to your point, you don't stop. Listen, it's his mind, it's his mentality, it's his toughness, it's his Mexican heritage, it's his pride. All the great fighters that come from there. It's all of that in a nutshell. He's gotten better. That year off helped him. It helped him. He was maybe fighting too often because he's the kind of guy, if he fights that way, you can imagine what his camps are like.
Building on that, analyst Atlas seems to credit Zepeda's turnaround partly to the layoff itself, suggesting the roughly year-long break after the Stevenson loss gave him time to sharpen his approach and recover from the wear of his notoriously grueling training camps.
The Shakur Stevenson fight in the loss. Because he's always, the one thing he's got to know is that being that he's always going to be the guy that's, bringing the heat, the guy who's always bringing the aggression, he's going to deal with counterpunches. So he had to take into some thought with that Stevenson fight, the way he was getting counted, that I'm going to fight a guy who's similar to that, not as good. Nobody's as good right now as Shakur Stevenson, but in Roach, a guy who's a counterpunch. I think that fight prepared him, the style of that fight, you know.
Zepeda hadn't fought since dropping a decision to Shakur Stevenson in July 2025. Adding another layer, Teddy positions Shakur Stevenson a notch above the rest of the division, pointing to his rare knack for dictating fights defensively while still being able to turn up the pressure and assert himself when the moment calls for it. Notably, this comparison comes right after a card that saw Stevenson's name mentioned.
Stevenson, there's levels to this. He's on a different level than all these guys.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, to handle a guy like that, the way he did, you know, and Zepeda was in a fight. That's not to say he wasn't in a fight, especially the first half. But then Shakur stepped it up to that next place that the real good fighters, special fighters do. He stepped it up and he took control. And, I mean, Shakur, you know, he's one of those guys, like, they can walk in the rain without getting wet.
Both Zepeda and Roach have faced him in the past, and Stevenson remains the fighter most in the division are still chasing. Building on that, Adrien Broner gets into the practical side of matchmaking, noting that while he's technically got a wide range of options, the business of boxing means he'll...
White chalky.
Nah, for real. White chalker. I'm telling you. That's gonna be, bro.
What's Zepeda, the Mexican?
I don't give a what he is. He gonna be whatever nationality he is. He gonna be sleep. Whatever nationality, bro. Tank hitting that way with that bomb, bro. Boom. He's gonna land flush.
He'll likely gravitate toward bigger, more high-profile names to keep building his legacy rather than just taking whoever's available. Adding on, Abdullah Mason chalks up William Zepeda's win over Lamont Roach, mainly to sheer volume. Believing Roach's inability to build on his cleaner individual punches led Zepeda.
Man, I don't know what Roach's game plan coming into it was, but I felt like he was going to have more counters. Like he was touching Zepeda with ones, but I felt like he could have followed up, like one, followed up some more, then step after that. But Zepeda, his punch rate was just too high for him.
So you have Zepeda winning?
Yeah, I got Zepeda winning.
What do you? They're about to announce the score, but what do you think it's going to be?
I don't know. I wasn't locked in for the full fight, but from what I seen, I feel like Roach was holding his punches, and I feel like that's the reason why Zepeda might get the dub. Because he was just letting them go, and you know he threw way more punches.
Take over with his output. Roach's third straight winless outing after previous majority draws with Gervonta Davis and Isaac Cruz. Former professional boxer Adrien Broner and coach Kenny Ellis predict that in a potential match, Tank Davis will knock out William Zepeda. They explain why Zepeda's pressure style would be a liability against Tank's counterpunching power. When asked about a potential Tank Zepeda